is this?
3.
3. Say less. I got a question for y'all though. As of right now, I know it's recency
Mm-hmm.
bias.
Yeah.
More beloved in OKC, SGA or Russell Westbrook?
SGA.
Oh,
Right now,
Say-
SGA. He just brought the ring home. Yeah, it got to be SGA right now. He just brought the ring home.
Before the ring, it was Russ though.
Yeah,
sure.
before the ring, it was
He's
Russ,
more
but
beloved right now. Russ put in a lot of work, man.
he ain't bring no ring home.
And bring no ring home, and we gracefully let you leave to try to go get a ring. And we
We let you leave. I stay thorough.
Yeah, I think I don't watch Thunder.
I mean, like they don't boo him type shit when he come back. Like it's a graceful exit. Like it was a graceful exit on both sides type shit.
Yeah, remember when he got traded away?
That's what I'm saying.
Traded away, they literally said we don't want to waste the rest of your time here. That's why we're trying to trade you to a contender. That's why he went to Houston first, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why they traded him there because it was like, hey, we're trying to let you compete.
Considering that, that's what I'm saying. So we give you a standing ovation. We told you, hey man, we don't got it for you right now. You stuck through us through thick and thin. If it wasn't for you, we not even really sure what OKC fan base looked like. Because after KD, after that finals run, where is OKC when Russ wasn't putting up them triple doubles?
Nowhere.
Getting the MVP.
Nowhere to be found.
What
I'm with you, but I'm not. Listen, to that fan base, all of that can be, we've had great players here. We love Russ. He ain't bring no ring home.
Yeah, Russ's biggest.
They don't even have that long of a history.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like you gotta. That also plays into that.
Yeah,
like the fact, it's like imagine if Ray Allen would have brought a ring to Seattle.
But it's not even that bad though, because think about it. They haven't been in
was around for
existence
30
that long.
years, though.
They haven't been in existence that long, and they haven't had that many down years as a franchise. Like, think about it.
Yeah, they haven't.
You say
no, for sure.
Because of the both of them.
But they didn't win with them boys. They didn't win.
No, Nick. I'm talking about with Ray's point. Like when, and I'm also trying to like stop something before it even starts. The Thunder isn't a man. We've been bad franchise. Them niggas been strategic this entire
fact. No, the entire time.
Big fact.
Like even when KD left, even to your point, Russ kept them afloat. They didn't have any downtime. Even when CP3 came back there, their downtime was what, one season, if that. Like they never had a true rebuild season. Like they never rebuilt. They always stockpile draft.
You know what? You can keep going, Evan, if you got something.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, I just wanted to dead that point. That's a narrative a lot of people be pushing already on OKC. And no, you niggas weren't bad for real.
Yeah. So one thing,
but we know why they here. I'm not
one
mad
thing,
at what y'all saying. I'm just saying, like, Russ did.
They had the stop giving Russ all that credit though.
One thing I will say, right? I think this is gonna sound crazy, right? I think 50% of Russ love comes because of the illusion that he stayed and Kevin Durant left. Right? And then look at this, right?
I like
the biggest
illusion.
Illusion, because we got behind the scenes and we heard what really happened. So that's why I said illusion. But remember the biggest moment of Russ's career, you gotta remember this. He was a playoff dropper. People been saying in OKC that he should have passed Kevin Durant the ball a couple times so they could have had a couple series. And on top of that, the biggest moment he ever had was when KD came back and he almost beat them niggas by himself. Remember that timeout when he was barking? That's the biggest moment. That's still not close to a chip.
And when you say that, like, we also got to remember, because we can't rewrite history. Russ is beloved right now. When KD first left, folks was upset about where he went, but on the decision of him leaving, everybody was like, "Yeah, bro," because Russ was supposed to pass you the ball, because we all understood you're the guy that's supposed to take that shot, and he need to go play too. So it's like folks understood the sentiment, but it was like KD leaned into the villain role, and it just was what it was after that.
Even with the biggest moment though, he did something that we only seen one player do before in the OKC uniform. So averaging that triple double isn't no small, and then doing it.
It's crazy. That's what helps him. That's what helps him with the
We gonna circle back.
happened?
Everybody hate.
Wow.
I like Russ, but we got to call her. But like, cause that was what you just said was a point I was about to get into anyway. The triple double shit got to stop, bro. He forced that. That shit was forced. Yes, we can understand it's hustle.
Wait.
Forcing your way to get them boards, and then hold on. The same reason why KD left, that nigga dribbling the ball for 20 seconds and then dishing it with 4 seconds left. That's how he was also getting triple doubles, by being Super Bowl dominant. The same way he was being a bully with the ball with KD, the same was the reason why he bullied triple doubles. Stop that shit. I'm tired of that shit.
So you saying like it's still easy to
get
triple double?
Good for him. Good for him. But you see, he only consistently really pulled this shit off how he did in that manner in that jersey. And that
with nobody.
That
jersey.
These are my cap shades.
So you saying that MVP should have been in Houston?
I'm gonna go on a ledge and still say no, because you got to honor him, because that's a feat that he.
So in real time, because I was in high school.
That feat of a triple double, like, and again, that's what I'm saying. It's two things can't be true. I can think that it's bullshit, but doing that feat, he deserved it. He did.
Real quick, Ev.
Okay,
Ray, is that your cap?
Yeah.
Okay, Ray. I mean,
yeah, these are my cap shades. That's your cap.
What we call a cap on before I dive into this next, John?
That Russ was stat padded for the trip dub.
Nah, he was though. That's on record. Steven Adams. He used to have Steven Adams move out the way. No center doing that. No center was doing that.
He still had to get the rebounds consistently.
All right, I'll take the cap. I'll take the cap shades off.
So this is what I was gonna say, right? I was gonna say the reason why I think it should have been in Houston. Houston had a top 2 seed, and James Harden averaged the same triple double. He averaged 1 more rebound and 1 less assist. 29, 11, and 9. he legit just basically like really did it, I guess.
And the narrative is though, it wasn't a true trip dub, and that's the narrative.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
What does that mean?
Did he have double digits in 3 categories?
Yeah, I get it.
Oh man, we on some nonsense to start this show off, man. We on some nonsense to start the show off, man. Welcome, as you see, to a new episode of the Keep It Clean One-Off Sports Edition, man. We gonna go ahead and start off with Ev on some nonsense. Introduce yourself, Ev. Welcome back.
Man, what's happening, man? Y'all see the tag, man. ISO Ev, man. You know what I'm saying? Who need ISO Joe when you got ISO Ev in the building? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get a ring today too. You know what I'm saying?
That's a tough tagline, bro. Hey,
we here.
Who need ISO Joe when you got ISO
Ev?
ISO Ev. We got Cuzzo back in the building all the way from Connect I Cut. Introduce yourself, big fella.
I like how you said that. You know, Smitty, man. No look, Jay. Man, I feel like Hallie passing that shit off to Siakam for that bang, man. Shit. That's how I'm feeling, man.
Mr. ATL has his hair together better than Trae Young, my brother, co-host. Sure. How you doing, Mr. Nico?
What's going on, man? Nico, I'm here. Big shot, Bob. Look out for the corner. You know what's going on, man. Catch me up. You know what's going on.
And I'm here trying to help y'all run it today. We're going to talk about some nonsense. I'm the left-hand machine to the tween, cross, tween. Fuck you mean. It's Ray in the building. Good, sir. Good, sir. We here, man. We going to go ahead and get straight into it, bro. The finals. The finals happened.
Yes.
We saw the results.
Yes.
I'm a fire it off saying, man, this is probably one of the most exciting finals that I have seen since the decade of dynasties between the Cavs and Golden State, or hell, the decade of dynasties, including Miami and the Spurs. We went through 10 years of there was only 3 or 4 teams that you even considered, right? LeBron. Yeah. So we here, man. Yeah. It took 3 years. We here, man. What's y'all's thoughts on it? What did y'all see? How y'all feel?
Man, listen, bro. First off, I picked OKC to win in 6. They did it in 7, so I was right. I'm not happy about it. I'm gonna just be honest. I'm gonna just tell you out the gate. I'm not happy about it. The series was crazy. It was one of those series to where it felt like I thought OKC would win just based off like the season and how they had the chemistry going and all of that, and I didn't know necessarily if the Pacers had it, but as you watched, you was like, oh no, the Pacers are better than they're better than them.
Yeah.
They're actually like game by game, even when they got blew out, all of that, lost again, like lost control of a game and all, but you still looking, you be like, nah, possession for possession, spot for spot, and especially in the clutch, they better than y'all. So man, it was a great series for me. It was one of those where I'm like, look, I know I picked OKC just off analytics, but I feel like the Pacers is gonna win. And get well soon, Hallie, man. If that brother does not go down, they popping out, going for the bomb, 3 of them joints out the gate. Listen, bro. I was sitting at the crib like, oh, it's finna get wicked. It's finna get wicked. And then I felt like they snatched the rug from under me, man. So yeah, man. It was definitely a great finals. I loved it, but I just wish it wouldn't have went down like that. I wish we could have got that real duel out of SGA and Hadley for that last game, man.
Yeah.
Chasers versus the Halliburton, man. Which one of y'all want to comment next, bro?
Yeah, I kind of agree with everything Nick said. I think I had OKC in 6 also, but it was one of those things where when Game 7 came, I'm like, dude, I'm rooting for the Pacers. Like, I kind of like, and it was one of those things where it was the energy, and for me, it's the makeup of the two teams. You see Indiana, like, it's a team effort, full team effort. Something we said with the finals teams was seeing these two teams matched up of young team, young guys running and gunning, and you just saw like Indiana, they wanted it more. You as a team aspect, like role players were coming up and coming in. Obi Toppin was doing this thing. TJ McConnell, man, he been in the league for a while. I can't say enough about dog. He put up a highlight reel.
Yo,
we're gonna get to it.
But you know, it's just like they all were just really working together, and OKC kind of was just in there. It kind of like they was in there just moving with the motion at time. What made it feel like, oh, this team just isn't up to par sometimes. And it was where they would just shut it on and shut it off. And I will say, I have to, with my hats off to OKC, man. I ain't never seen no on ball defense like how they were moving with their defense. And we talked about it like with that postseason as a whole, as a team, but like in the finals, seeing them get turnovers at that rate, just and you can talk sloppiness in Indiana, but even with that, like the way that they just generate turnovers, I've never seen that. Like, and that's why I was like that. So that's why I would say I ain't gonna spend as much time on Indiana because they did lose, but man, OKC did their thing. But yes, fuck all that. Hallie, if you don't get hurt, I'm confident in saying y'all win. I am confident in saying
I'm confident in saying y'all win and you put up a 40 piece.
He started when he start high, he finished high.
Bro,
we was gonna be in for one.
Because real quick, and I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah.
It was because it was just, I don't know if y'all peeped, but it was like I saw he couldn't get the step that he normally get when he get the going. Like when he drive, he get that step and he already there. He couldn't get the step because he had the calf. So it's like I see him not wait. Like he like, all right, I can't do the step. I'm finna step back. I saw 3 times. I was like, oh no, he looking for that. And once he found it twice and then he hit that third, I said, oh yeah, he finna go crazy. Let's get into it. But go ahead, Smitt. I don't want to.
You good, bro. But first and foremost, obviously, y'all know what I had going on. So to see this type of injury, bro, it just hits different for Hallie, because bro, Hallie not the most consistent dude, right? But in the clutch, every single time, bro. Every single. So when you see a dude go down who really was up all night waiting for this game 7, and he hit his first 3, like the first, you just like, like we about to have the best finals in the past decade, damn near. And then you just see that, and it's just like, just sucks to, shout out to Indiana for real for keeping that not a blowout for real, keeping it under 20 points,
keeping it close.
But damn, man, if I was there, bro, I would have just felt deflated. Like this, you get all the way there, he's cooking too. It's not even like he could have played better. They say they could have won game whatever and been up 3-1 or whatever. Yeah, game 4, bro. You can't say stuff like that. They're the inferior team. Like stuff happens. You know what I mean?
Nobody expected him to be there in the first place. Like
exactly.
let's keep it clean.
I had OKC in 7 because I knew it'd be tough for OKC. I knew OKC was gonna win 3 games at home. It was just up to them to get that one on the road. So, but if they didn't get that one on the road, that's why it's a 7-game series. You get 4 at home and you go win all 4 and be fine. But yeah, man, the one thing though I really like, I'm not gonna get deep in. I'm gonna give you guys a general aspect. In the 2022 finals with the Celtics and Warriors, you kind of see in veteranship completely win the finals.
That part.
Yeah.
This series was so fire because we were seeing 2 young teams in real time figure it out.
Yeah.
And it's not like, and it's just, and that's why it hurts so much too. Because Hallie, bro, there's a stat out there. I couldn't find it. I was trying to find it when one of you boys was talking. When he hits his first shot, he averages like 25, 10 or whatever. When he misses it, that's when he has a bad game. So you already knew when he made the first 2 or 3 what type of night it was going to be. So for that to happen, it just sucks, man. I think it would have been great for the product. It was great for the product anyway, but the type of finish we were supposed to get would have been immaculate for the product, man. So.
Yeah, man. I don't disagree with any of y'all. I think my take on it was it made me feel for the teams, bro. Like by the time it was over, you couldn't help but like Indiana. And I think it was because they had the underdog story. And mind you, like as it went along, even on the opposite side, by the end of this series, by the end of this playoffs, I hate Lou Dort. I do. I hate everything about his game. I feel like Rose when he talking about the Pacers because it got to the point where it's just like I appreciate his defense. I don't want to get that taken, out of context. He did the dirt. And it was the way he did the dirt that made me mad because there's certain pieces of it, even within his defense. I was like, on the cool, you kind of a dirty player. And then the shots he was hitting, I was like, you not supposed to be the one hitting the shot. Like, I'm not mad at OKC making the bucket because y'all are a great shooting team. I'm mad at you making the bucket overall. I want to see you doing whatever the case. And I think as it went along, you're right, Smitt, in the aspect that they're both young teams. But why we started to feel like Indiana was better because we forget, bro. The coach is a championship coach.
Yeah,
Carlisle was really doing.
Pascal talk about that
going to be
bro.
The Finals MVP, even if Hallie didn't get hurt and they won.
He
did everything, and it got to the point where you started to respect every single player, bro. First of all, Mathurin is a crash out. Every time he every time he went to the basket, it was a running back shooting through the hole. This man was just contact, find it, hit somebody, move out the way, right? McConnell was the JJ Barea of 2011.
A dog.
He was like white Andre Miller.
Let me real quick. I'm in the corner. Just throw me the ball real quick. Just
go ahead.
Appreciate you. Obi Toppin. And everybody else that was on the floor with TJ McConnell in the third quarter of the game 7, y'all need to be running suicides right now. Because listen, bro. I told y'all Obi was an X factor when we did our predictions. You did. And listen, bro, like I'm watching this shit and I'm sitting here and the wind getting knocked out the team. Hallie go down, everybody like, but it's close. So you like, okay, we got our eye on this joint. When bro and y'all was go up 1 point going into the third. When he come out in that third and goes, 8 straight?
Yeah.
When I'm coming down straight over Holmgren, straight over, looking for the contact, finding the angle, stop, pop. What are we? Y'all need to take care of the fucking ball and run these plays, bro. Get a stop, take care of the ball, and run these plays, dog. It's not even that hard. Obi Toppin, what are you doing?
I mean, hey,
shout out to OKC for the defense, but I also don't want it to be missed. Indiana, I need y'all to work on catching the ball.
Just
catch
the
ball, bro.
Two hands.
I know you got to catch the ball, but listen, the quarterback out the game. The Rockets, you getting not that soft no more,
bro.
We've seen a lot of people highly dependent that whole second half. Obi got 0. Zero.
Catch the
He had
ball.
zero.
But I'm talking about
Another
throughout
game.
the series, bro. They
Dribble
just
the
kept,
ball.
there was a lot of
Oh, yeah.
turnovers that they had where they just flat out
Yeah.
just weren't catching it, or
Yeah.
the amount of turnovers where they got the rebound and they what's Smitt, you hoop. We played. What's rule number 1 when you get the rebound?
Catch that motherfucker.
Firmly grasp it, bro.
Yo, they tell
Firmly
you. They
grasp
tell
it.
you if they tell you if you
Bring it
lose the
low.
ball, not even bringing it low. If you lose the ball like that, you making the move before you even have the ball.
Mhm.
Catch the ball first, and then everything comes
Then
after.
see- And at least if you gonna turn it over like that, hit him.
Yeah.
Don't let him just go back up to the basket. Hit him, bro.
Come
You
on,
feel
man.
me? Give me a
Come on,
foul because
man.
we can't just give away points. But I do have to give full respect, bro. SGA, man. SGA,
Dog.
you
You a
did
dog.
everything you were supposed to do from the start of the playoffs all the way through. This, if they lost, it wasn't going to be because of you.
You can almost say SGA, the way this played out, is giving me Tim Duncan vibes.
What you mean?
In the sense of like,
Ooh, okay,
but
talk about it.
in the sense like it wasn't super flashy. He got to his spot, he hit his shot every single time. Like it wasn't, he didn't go out this way. They didn't have to like do no super heroics and all of that. It was like, no, we gonna come out here. We gonna play the game that we was coached to play, the way that we was coached to play it, and that's gonna be that. And anytime, like when they called on him, he did exactly what Timmy would do. I'm gonna get
So
to
let me
my
ask you
spot,
this.
get my shot.
I get you.
Address the
yeah.
narrative. Did y'all feel like it was foul baiting or no?
In this series, I wouldn't say so.
And in this series, I mean, it's definitely some whistles I wouldn't have given him, but I can't like. It was at one point in this series where it was like, bro had went to the line like 2 or 3 times by the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's like one of those where it's like
that was the one they were supposed to take.
Type joint. So yeah, so it's like when you got situations going on like that, he didn't get the Dwayne Wade whistle, bro. So we can't act like he was getting the Dwayne Wade whistle at the end of the day.
I did have a partial gripe. I didn't feel like SGA was foul baiting. I did feel like the refs were making some calls for OKC where I was like, okay, when TJ was watching his wrist get held, where everybody saw that happen,
that was crazy.
And then for them to go back on he turns it over and then they go and call a block when I was like, bro, that was a charge. Like
that was a charge.
That type of stuff that made it hard to pull for OKC respectfully, because it's like, man, the Pacers are doing this despite the narrative of the foul baiting or the script for OKC getting all the calls and whatever the case may be. It's like, bro, like what else do you want?
Yeah, it's like, bro, he's holding my hand. This is a foul. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, and I came to find out though, like certain things just make sense. So after Hallie got hurt, no slander, but Siakam, 2-time MVP, two-time champion, finals MVP. That's some wicked combos. And he would have got, that's wicked combos. That just don't even make sense. You know what I mean? That don't even make sense. I'm sorry.
Face, bro.
I'm sorry, but it don't,
be the face, bro.
It don't even make sense.
Hey, bro. And I'm kind of glad. I got a homie who he was talking like, hey, if Pascal win this ring and the finals MVP, he better than Bosh. I'm like, I don't know about this, my dog.
That's
like, and I'm like, I don't want
to. But respectfully though, I can't. That conversation is not disrespectful to me.
It's not disrespectful, but it's like, are we really doing this?
Like,
you would have.
Yeah, you have to.
He just took down the MVP. You would have to.
I just matched you in rings, and I got the finals MVP.
But guess what? They lost.
And you was
now because
now it's up in smoke. Now it's up in smoke. But
like, is there a fair conversation?
Yeah. Now today it's up in smoke. But had they won, I think that's because it's like, Bosh, you was third option on both of them rings.
And in Toronto, you didn't do a goddamn thing.
Double machine. You was Kevin Love before Kevin Love.
That's pretty much it.
Oh, Bosh.
Like,
I thought you were talking about Siakam.
Bosh. Like, we got to remember, Siakam first year, he was the second option. Him or Favorite, whatever you want to throw it up. Siakam was giving you 20 that series, 20 a game. Yeah. So it's like, he's not no scrub. He was never a bus rider. He was never a bus rider.
I needed more from Miles Turner. I will also add I look at Chet weirdly as the series went along. It's like I want to like you. I do. But it's just some it's just some
It's a little,
I
yeah.
don't know what it is. I don't know what it
You
is.
know
It's
what it
just
is.
Every
You
white
know
man
what it
named
is.
Chet got an issue.
You know what it is, bro.
You went to
You know what it
Gonzaga.
is. You know what it is.
Every Chet,
And
every Chet,
and it always revolve around accents for some reason.
every Chet, everyone. It's just everyone, man. Chet, Blackson, it's like they all just tie in. And
You know, it's just
I
I'm
gotta
gonna let you make it. I'm gonna let you make it.
I gotta ask y'all though, because like I know, we all said, get well soon, Tyrese Halliburton, you know what I mean? Speedy recoveries. Like so we saw Tyrese go down, we saw Jason Tatum go down, we saw Damian Lillard go down, all with the same injury. Kyrie went down. I think he had a ACL though. Yeah, he had an ACL. But with the Achilles joint, we've seen KD go down.
Sorry. Let me not to stop you. DeJounte Murray, March.
ACL. All right.
ACL.
Nah, that was Achilles. That was
Achilles.
Yeah.
So is it the shoes?
I'm gonna start here. As someone that's experienced that injury twice.
Damn.
Twice. Yeah. I got matching or parallel scars. I don't think it's the shoes, man, because even if you were to put it in a high top shoe, you're still hyperextending the calf. There's no way around that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Is it that move?
I think it's because it's when you look how far back, even with KD, I can't remember Dame's off top, but how far back they stepped to try to push, it is a hyperextension, man. And that explosiveness that they had. I also want to add there was a stat. I forgot my man's name, but he was breaking down in the years of time management, like the body and whatnot, because they made that rule back in 2012 and you're forcing players to play more or less, comparing it to the time frame when Jordan and Chuck and all of them played, you have the space and pace game. Now, that's different than their half court offense. So these days, on average, if you play all of your games, you're averaging almost 200 miles running more than what they were doing back in the day. That's just what you're doing in the season.
Yeah.
The other part is when I was breaking it down to my doctor as far as when it first happened, when I tore mine and I went to my PT, he's like, man, just me asking, when did you sit down? And I said, what do you mean? He's like, you told me you played football, you did basketball, so you were in AAU, you were in summer league basketball for the school, then you did football season, then you did the basketball season. Like at what point, and say just even for them, they're constantly doing AAU leading into the season. Your body never sat, man. Like you even whether you're in a weight room or not,
it's just
you
wear
kept
and
going.
tear. Just wear and tear.
So eventually it gets there to where it's like my biggest takeaway from it was, first of all, if they say calf strain, sit them, man.
Yeah.
Sit them. We've gotten too many warnings of a calf strain. Even like shout out to Dallas because they gave Luka last year, was it like a game off or something when it was in the playoffs?
Yeah.
And it was still a close series, but I think they were playing Minnesota. Luka had a calf strain, and they were like, nah, sit him down.
Yeah.
Like don't even worry about it. And we see at least he kind of survived that, if you will. But Dame had a calf strain. Jason had a calf strain. Tyrese had a calf strain.
Do we look at Tyrese differently if he sits down with the calf strain when he could have played?
Yes.
Oh yeah, sadly.
So that's where it gets.
And no. You know why though? Because a lot of people never played sports or ever been injured before.
There you go.
A lot of people think these people are Superman, bro. Like I'm telling you, bro, I'm telling you the same thing. You never take breaks. Another thing, one thing, Tyrese is around my age, right? One thing we was all doing, we was outside for hours playing on concrete. Hours playing on concrete. All of that has a play hand to it. But what I will say is, because I was doing a little deliberation with my mans, because we young, like 25, but we from the era, like if you could walk up and walk, 82 games, play 82 games. You know what I mean? We from that. Like, we believe in that. If you could play, you could play. But with the medicine, I think these people are using it totally wrong. Soft tissue, numbing a soft tissue injury. Like, bro, if you sprain your ankle, yeah, shoot that shit up and come back out. But a hammy, jumper's knee could turn into a torn patella tendon. Shout out to Victor Oladipo, Victor Cruz. The calf strain could turn into you overloading your Achilles. Shout out to everyone we lost this year. But like, in terms of like Jaylen Brown, they said he could play. He would have no more bad, like, his knee couldn't get any worse. They said his meniscus was already gone. All they got to do is give him PRP shots so he doesn't feel the bone on bone. Shit like that is fine. But when you start talking soft tissue, bro, and shit that could snap off your limb, that's a completely different ball game. The medicine's amazing, but they're using it they're using it the wrong way. Using it the wrong way.
So do we? I guess my thing. I guess I'm thinking either get on board with load management or shorten the season.
Shorten the season.
I don't agree with either.
Shorten the season gonna affect dollars, and dollars is the first thing people don't.
So I had to tap into someone from that era. So I talked to my dad. I'm like, listen, me and my brothers are talking about multiple things. They just landed a CBA, right? You giving everybody 60 to 70 million a year now, and you gonna tell them you need to play 65 out of 82 games. Okay.
Yes.
So I agree.
Why not just shorten the season to 65 games?
No.
At that point, bro. But I'm just
hold on. I understand the financial aspect. I know that's the top portion, so I understand why that's not a thing. But I'm saying, if you gonna get to a point where every time y'all get to the playoffs, y'all are losing y'all best players because they're overloaded from the work, at some point, some got to
get coaching. Why we have the issue with Tom Thibodeau. The difference between now and then is, even back then they had rotation pieces. Almost 9-10 players are playing that game, so people can rest during the game appropriately. You are running with 7, maybe 8, and 7 is being generous depending on what team you have. Because look at that OKC team. It's like we see it every year going into the playoffs. It's like, yeah, we watching Thanasis play, right? Bronny's on the court. Playoff start, they don't even. There's no need for you to even get in the layup line, dog. You know you're not. Half of the other Jalen Williams didn't even play for OKC for majority of the series. You wouldn't have known he was a bench warmer the way they were hyping him up coming into the season. Fact. So now with the coaching, if you're going to do a spacing pace, we have the 200 miles on top of that. Get people rotated so you can sit. If you're on an 8 to 12 minute stretch, you're down 12, you're down 14, and then now you got the squad trying to really go for it, and you finally tie the game. Like, I understand the hot hand, but now we're looking at it as like how Thibodeau, for a prime example, how many players under him got injured?
I feel Thibodeau, but I don't know if Thibodeau is like the benchmark for all coaches when it comes to running your players down.
Up there because of the fact that he kept winning, they keep him as a quote unquote top coach. There's a method to the madness. They shunned Greg Pop for doing this exact thing of saying, sit down, relax. That rotation that San Antonio had, that's what made it so hard for people to beat them. But you got a bench. I think it's the coaching, man. You got to be able to have additional rotations and players come in so you can load manage appropriately.
Yeah, this is the issue, though, right? When you tell people they need to play 65 out of 82 games, and that ties in to your money, there's a different discrepancy now. Because now you're saying, okay, if I don't make, the extension you're eligible for 2 years before. So 2 years before my contract ends, if I don't make All NBA or the All Star this year, I'm losing 100 to 150 million.
Okay.
Like, that's not fair for them to do. You know what I mean? If you're giving them so much money, you risking the product at that point. You know what I mean? Like, you risking the product. I'm not saying you should baby them, but it's a culmination of things. The in-season tournament. Why are we having an in-season tournament where we're playing 5 games in 10 days?
Like, come on, bro.
And then you making the two guys who get to the cup play an extra game. Like, so those two people
who won the cup? Who won the cup?
This year, the Lakers.
The Lakers won. Who they play?
Indiana. Unless
I
I'm
thought that
thinking
was
of last
I
year.
thought that was
Was
last
that
year.
last year?
That was
It
the
was.
first one.
I thought
They won
Indiana
the
won
very
this
first one.
year. I think
Yeah.
Indiana won
I
this
thought the
year.
Bucks. I thought it was the Bucks. I
I
thought
think
the
it was the
Bucks beat the
Bucks this year.
Pacers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
no.
Yeah. Who won
Wait,
it?
Okay.
you might be right. Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, these boys nowadays, because I was talking to my dad, man, I'm like, yo, back in the day, they really used to sit their ass down, gamble their life away, drink, smoke the cigar. When mini camp was rolling around, I'll take 2 weeks to get back in shape and we back. These boys really not taking no time off. Tyrese,
Yeah.
Tatum, all them niggas really played basketball these past 2 years for 730 days, bro.
Yeah,
But
730
that's also
days straight.
the Bucks beat
yeah.
the Thunder. The Bucks beat the
Bucks beat the
Thunder for
Thunder.
that.
But that's
Yeah.
also
Thunder.
why I think the coaching goes hand in hand with what you're saying, Smith, because you could still play in the game, but you don't
Yeah,
need to put up 35 minutes every single
yeah,
game.
yeah,
You don't need to put up 30. Like if it's one of those, if it's a back-to-back game and you
yeah,
know you just traveled into town, cool, you play 20, 25. If you're in the right position, you could dial it back. And then now, same thing we see that happens. If your star goes down, because we were in the group chat talking about it, they all of a sudden the team plays different. Clearly, they play like a team once the star is down. But
yeah.
some of them aren't used to playing. So when you need the rest
Mhm.
of the game, if he got hurt in the third quarter, we might be talking about Indiana winning because what they
Facts.
did to even take the lead going into halftime to hold on to it in the second quarter and then
Yeah.
go up with a 1 point game. But
Mm-hmm.
you needed that for 3 quarters.
3
TJ couldn't do it
quarters.
for 3 quarters, bro. He couldn't do it.
Yeah,
Obi just nutted up out of
Yeah.
nowhere. And then
Yeah.
yeah,
now what?
Yeah.
So now you're trying to get that next guy. To me, it's the coaching, and you could dial it back, get those players in there, and you have that rotation where it helps. That's what got OKC to where they're at in the first place. Having all them dudes that you knew were lockdown defenders. So just in case if one toppled, if it wasn't SGA, you could throw somebody out there.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
they got arms. They know the
yeah.
drill. Same thing with what the Pacers were looking at for the Obi. This might be on you.
It
this
is.
really might be on you on the
And
court.
he was honest
It
though.
is.
I hate that he was honest about it though. I ain't gonna lie. I hate saying, hey bro, I ain't gonna lie. Tyrese got hurt and I was fucked up. Like I hate him. I hate him admitting that. Like
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
I hate you admit that
Yeah.
because we visibly saw you
Right.
lay the egg,
Like,
and
bro,
it's like we understand, but it's like you got to kind of fight through that though.
you
Yeah.
that's your whole job, bro. That's your
You're in the
whole.
league, man. You're in the
Come
league.
on,
It was
man.
bad luck for number 0 in the
Yeah.
East, bro. It
And
was bad
it
luck for
sucks
number
too.
0, bro.
It sucks too because with Obi specifically, like if they had won, he was literally being looked at as the bright spot of, and not the only bright spot, but like especially around Twitter and everything with NBA guys and then just basketball players because of who Obi Toppin was as a player before college with the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
He is the guy that you young guys that's aspiring to be NBA players. This is the person you look at. He was want to be a top guy, but he came to the Pacers. Hey, I'm gonna play 12 minutes, but this is what I got to do. And he locked in, and he was playing that role well. And now look at it, where we're looking at it saying, "Oh, the nigga who was the 7th, 8th man, he nutted up," and we're looking at it like he's the reason why we're potentially not having another champion.
Man.
You
And
know what I'm
quiet as
saying?
kept, man. I also don't want to slide past. Hey, that boy Nimhard was
Mhm.
shooting that joint.
Mhm.
That boy
He was
Nimhard.
he was like he was the next little Jordan Poole. Like he was out
I'm
there
excited.
just
That boy Nimhard had a
Listen.
burner.
I'm excited for him next year, man.
yeah.
That's gonna be a movie.
There's gonna be time with Hallie out all year, most likely.
Yeah.
It's gonna
for
be a
sure
movie.
out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people counting out the Pacers. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people counting out a lot of teams in the East, and I don't think it's gonna go like that.
But you gotta think, you got no Dame. Where Dame's a little bit older, I didn't have faith in the Bucks anyways. I still think they trade Giannis. What do the Celtics look like with a Jaylen Brown ran team? And I still think they trade him too. And then Indy I think Indy without Hallie is the most solid altogether. I think they go get somebody that could just hold the line long enough, and they're a tough out. You know
who they need. What they really need to do is get a real center. I think Miles Turner. I've never been a Miles Turner fan, and after this finals, I hope people saw what I saw, because that boy can't move and he can't really score like that.
Yeah, Miles was a little disappointed in this finals, like because in the postseason, because Miles was the guy I was like, hey, he gonna be the one to show up and show out, be the X factor, and he kind of like he one of them players like on the Triple J thing for Memphis, like you a big man and you only getting me 6, 7 boards. I'm not rolling.
Yeah.
I'm not rolling.
Yeah, that's a fact.
All right. So let it now. So shout out to OKC. So now we got the question, right? And I'm sure y'all seen it. Y'all done seen the clip. You done seen my man come out, and as usual, as the finals are going along, he got to have his face out. He got to be talked about just a little bit. So, what's y'all's thoughts? What's y'all's thoughts on this right here, man?
It's no audio.
You said no audio?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't hear the audio.
Hold on. Let me see. Y'all hear now?
Nah.
Let me try it again.
I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport and why it's the all be all of everything. Like, okay, you weren't a great player if you never won a championship. Yeah. It's like, or if you won one, then you can't be in the same conversation with this person. It's like,
but that's a great point, because what you're saying is like, no matter what you have, you need more. No matter what.
Right.
No matter what. Like, it never ends.
Yeah. Right? It's I don't know, man. It's just like, you sit here and tell me, you know, Allen Iverson and Charles Barkley and Steve Nash, you know, our wasn't unbelievable. Like, oh, they can't be talked about or discussed with these guys just because this guy won one ring or won two rings or one, like, it's just weird to me. It's like saying Peyton Manning can't be in the same room with Brady or Mahomes because he only has one ring. They don't never discuss that in these sports. I don't know why.
For the record, Peyton has two. I don't even know why he said that. Look, what's y'all's thoughts on that, man? I see.
Let me start.
Ev looked dissatisfied, bro.
I'm in the I'm in the corner. I'm in the corner, Ray. I'm in the corner.
Driving kick, bro. They can't stop the left. I'm kicking out, bro.
Yeah. LeBron, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. We don't listen. We gonna break this down, and I wish my brother Rose was here right now, because he need to hear this too. He need to hear this as bad as you do. Listen, bro. You was in Cleveland. First stint. You failed. We can talk about you ain't have work. We can talk about you ain't have help. We can talk about the organization wasn't on your side. We can give you all of that grace. That was your first stint. It's all good. We're not tripping on you there. What you did do was go team up with two All-Stars and go get your first two after you promised, what, 7?
8.
He said 8. Thanks. Thank you. So you promised 8. You got 2. You fumbled what should have been the first one. You actually fumbled that. You folded like a beach chair.
We getting into why?
By all means, brother. Let's do it.
I'm gonna keep it short. D Wade had to pull that man aside and say, "Brother, it's your team. Stop looking at me."
So
yeah.
So so you went to Miami to go team up and get some help. They started looking at you like you was the guy because you're the chosen one. You started being like, I just want to make the right play. I don't understand why everybody's looking at me to do the. And you got swept up by the Mavericks. All right, cool. Nope, cool, whatever. You folded. You came back. You got your 2. It's all good. And then Timmy and them came through.
And then over his shoulder, like.
But then some different happened though. Then something different happened. Then there was this other guy. There was this other guy named Steph. And Steph came through with a homegrown team and whooped your ass. Arguably making your era his era. There's an argument there. So LeBron, Let's just keep it clean for once in your life. Keep it clean. Shut the fuck up. The goal of the game is to win. All of that shit that Giannis said about, oh, it's not a loss, it's a lesson. It's a loss, nigga. You lost. It is an L on your record. You lost. That is what it is. We can play it up, dress it up however you want to. You lost. I played sports. I could tell myself all day, oh man, when we lost that championship game, bro, it's just a lesson. You come back harder for the next time. You know what I did in the car? Cry. You know why? Because I lost.
Facts.
Stop. We gotta stop sugarcoating this shit. LeBron, you've taken L's. Plenty of them. You got 4 rings. Your method, questionable. Let's not keep acting like, oh, niggas is just shooting me unnecessary shots when you, sir, have to go get whoever you think is the best player at the time on your team to feel like a contender. Shut the fuck up. You know who didn't do that? We miss you, dog. We appreciate you, gang.
Right there.
That guy,
Right,
this
right
guy,
there.
his young bull. Well, we stop it, man. Shut the fuck up, LeBron. Ev, what you got?
Yeah, it's basically everything you said. But I mean, like the whole ring cultures thing. I mean, yeah, like if you left Cleveland the first time for the ring culture. Like that's what I don't think he understands. Like and again, it's all media. I get the angle he's trying to push because it's a narrative. It's a media thing, and I get it. And if you really want to have that conversation, it does start with Michael Jordan. If you really want to go there, it go with them niggas dick suck him in the 90s. If we really want to go there, but I ain't gonna go there because the topic is you. And you can't be mad that they dick suck that nigga and then you dick suck that nigga too by saying, well, I'm gonna be better because I'm the like you tattooed chosen one. You said yourself, like you said yourself, you're chasing him. You said it. Like I'm trying to go get 6. I'm trying to be the best. Let's be real. No, if ring culture was really the thing, Bill Russell would be the GOAT. If it was the real thing. If ring culture was real. And because let's be real, if ring culture is a thing, then Nick, you are right. Brian, Steph ate your cookies, gang. He ate your nachos, as the ladies say.
He's 3-1 against you, big fella.
He got 4 chips in your era. So I mean, while you got, in your era you got 4. Your era's still going. That's 20 plus years. So I mean, if another nigga came and got 4 in that same time frame. So
without having a
while doing the Kobe, and let's be real, he did it doing the Kobe method.
Yo, like, not to cut you off, man, because this is really disgusting.
You go ahead.
Clay, people wasn't talking about Clay coming out of Washington State like that. The only reason why they knew Clay is because he was getting high on campus and fucking sat out in the NCAA tournament and came back blitz and shit. That's why. Curry was in trade rumors, him or Monte. He didn't have the luxury to go to another team to, you know what I mean, go team up with 2 all-stars and then leave to go team up with another one of the best second options of all time, to then leave that team to go to the LA where he gets paired up with Anthony Davis, trades their whole young core away, gets Anthony Davis, another guy who had 100% top 3 in the game, undoubtedly. And then to finish it all up, you go get the young bull from Slovenia, the hottest young dude in the game. And nobody's going to talk about this, but he wasn't getting beat in the first round till he came next to you.
That's a fact.
Till he came next to you.
That's a fact.
By himself with Kyrie, your man's bringing them to the Western Conference Finals, bringing them to the finals. So, listen, when we talk about Allen Iverson, I'm gonna be honest with you. We only talk about rings when the skill set is that close, where rings set it aside, and
Yes.
what team you've been on, and what you had to do set it aside. Like, bro, I'm sorry that MJ dropped 60 on Bird and went that off season, got better, came back, hurt his ankle, had to run into the Pistons with Isaiah Thomas, fucking got his ass beat, went in the gym again, got bigger, came back, got Scotty, beat him. Like, bro, like it's just tough when you put it like that. This dude Kobe shooed Shaq away. You could have easily shut your mouth and won 6 chips after he quote unquote figured it out. No, you shoot him away. You spent 3 to 4 years in the mud. Yeah, you was dropping 60, 81, so and so, but you took that on the chin. You said, give me what I need. Pau Gasol, all-star, fringe all-star, whatever you want to say. Ron Artest, Trevor Ariza, Shannon Brown. Just give me that. And we going to go up against Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Rondo. We going to lose one, but I swear they got held the next 3 years after that, bro.
Yeah.
And
I
who and
swear.
who was supposed to meet them when they met the Magic?
Yeah. Who was that supposed to be?
What was they running commercials
Yeah.
about that
Yeah.
whole playoffs? You failed.
Oh,
You
Dwight
failed.
Howard. It's your fault he out the league. Dwight Howard. Okay. Dwight Howard. Dwight
You
Howard.
know,
Giving
the more
them 30, 12, and 3 blocks a game. Beat you in the series when the teams were similar. Hedo Turkoglu as a 2
Come
is
on, bro.
up there with whoever he had at the 2, whoever you want to consider. Antoine Jameson, very good guy. Whoever else you wanted to consider. So
He asked for Antoine too. We can't skip past that. He
yeah.
asked for Antoine Jameson just for him to turn around and throw it under. And Smith, I want to build off of your point specifically. The ring culture thing, we can try to say it started with Jordan to an extent. And I think the thing with Jordan and why it started with him, because we hadn't really seen the combination of skill and winning the way that he was doing it. So now you introduce the idea of genuine dominance, right? Like genuine dominance. There's nothing you can do with him literally, and then he keeps winning to that extent. So with that being said, you trying to say it's not about, or you don't understand the ring culture thing, comes off as a weird excuse, because I don't understand why you play the game. You're in the talks of one of the greatest, right? And that's okay. But you made moves specifically for a ring. So to say that it's not about ring culture, it's not. It's great to have a good legacy. It's great to also win the championship. But you're doing particular things, even in dropping this in the middle of the finals. You got eliminated in the first round, right? You got eliminated in the first round. For whatever reason, you still have to put your face out there. That's why it looks weird for you to say it, because if you were winning, you don't hear this. When you were up
At
on a
all.
mountaintop and you still had some legs left under you and you still felt like you could reach 6, you weren't talking like this. You weren't concerned with the idea of ring culture when you thought you could still get one more. When you
damage
thought
control.
that you could go and try to tie it all together, because if you get to walk away with having the most points and tie for the championships, you are in a significantly better situation. The ring culture piece of it makes it scary, because now when you consider the totality of it, you really don't have the argument for number one anymore, because while you are dominant to an extent, you're essentially the Jay-Z of basketball. You know, when dude said it's like, yeah, you might have been the best rapper in the game, but there was always someone hotter than you. Always. So outside those times that you won, even your first ring, they were talking about D Wade. Your second ring, they were still talking about D Wade. You got one. And even in those words, what did you say? You wanted to get one for the land. That sounds like you were chasing a ring. That sounds like you went back there so you can win a ring for Cleveland, which I respect. Shout out to you. Right. And then you went to LA and did the same exact thing. So, this idea that Is it about ring culture? Is it yeah, kind of. Yeah. Because you get to talk a little bit different. You get to talk a little bit different. Tiger Woods wouldn't be the greatest golfer of all time if he didn't have a lot of them gold jackets. Right? Tom can't be Tom. You can't say you better than Peyton until you start talking about how many of them things he got on him. You know why Eli gets to talk crazy the same way Steph gets to talk to LeBron? Because Eli got his two on the GOAT, quote unquote. He got him on your head top. You can't say nothing to Steph because Steph gets to walk around quietly with 3 of his rings on your noggin. On your noggin during your era. And that
in your prime.
Yeah, man.
In your prime.
In your prime.
In your prime.
Your design teams. So it does come off for him as more of a sore loser mindset to it, because I agree with Ev. If it was just about rings, Bill Russell would be the greatest. But it's a combination of what Smitt said, your talent and your ability to win. You gotta put both of them together.
And you see, I kind of disagree just a little bit. And the only reason I say it is just because, because that's why I say Michael Jordan, the narrative around MJ is what started this. And again, we weren't alive when MJ was, hooping for real. So we all speaking with some speculation, but we speaking with rumors and facts from what the people that played said. They were calling Jordan the GOAT before he even won a ring. And that is why I'm saying this is the narrative starts with MJ. If you don't get the narrative of someone being called the greatest player of all time when they ain't even won a ring yet, mind you, he won his first ring, what, year 6? Year 7? Something like that?
6 or 7.
Like so mind you, they're having inklings of calling Jordan the GOAT 5-6 years in. Niggas will remember that when someone else comes along and does something like that. And that's why I say I understand. Like, I ain't saying this to even shoot LeBron bail. Fuck LeBron. The conversation is ring culture and rings equaling the amount of weight to being called the GOAT. That conversation in ring culture. It is bullshit. That it is bullshit to a degree. And the reason I say it is because of where it started. They were calling MJ the GOAT before he even won one.
But MJ always deflected that. Like, he never sat. He was always kind of like, bro, the players.
We're not talking about what he. No. Listen to what I'm saying. It ain't about what he accepted or said. It's the media narrative. That's what the ring culture is. The ring culture conversation is a media narrative. It's not a player narrative.
I don't think that's completely true, though, because the players were calling him that. The players were especially as soon as, like, for example, when he finally beat Boston, and you heard Larry say it, like, you son of a bitch. Like, we just couldn't do anything because what Jordan was doing dolo, because we had the Celtics. The Celtics were a squad. The Pistons were a squad. The Lakers were a squad. It was him. It was just him. Like, for most people, until he got Scotty and started winning, a lot of people can't even remember the squad, the rest of the players on his team during that time.
So
it was
terrible.
Him, right? So when they were calling him the GOAT, they were calling him the GOAT in respect of, bro, hey, we haven't seen nobody else do this the way that you're doing this. You're putting up 60-point games regularly, right? And you were losing. So then by the time he starts winning, I'm not mad at you saying that it was a media narrative for sure. But now that the narrative had gotten started and we have a standard, we saw someone be dominant, more dominant than Larry, more dominant than Bird, more dominant than Dr. J, more dominant than anybody outside of maybe Kareem. Kareem's the only other one I would heavily argue in this conversation until we get to maybe your Kobe's and we start to put Bron. Kareem was the only. They made a rule for Kareem, bro. Like, that's how you know how dominant you were. They said stop dunking in college, bro. They made a rule for you. So if the media started it, I'm not mad at it, but you led and leaned more into the narrative yourself as LeBron.
No, and that's something I agree with you too, because this is the thing. This is how I even really, really get this ring culture conversation. The ring culture conversation starts with MJ and ends with MJ. Because guess what? The first time we hear this conversation is when LA is playing this Boston Celtics and Kobe's going for 5. That's the first time we hear ring culture, because they're saying if he get this one, he's next to MJ. That's when ring culture really first started.
That's a fact.
But Ev, you see what you're saying though? Like, we never said Steve Nash the person you're in front of, one ring matters. We never said that to AI. We never said that about, bro. Like, if T-Mac won a ring, yeah, but like most of the guys that went to the playoffs and showed up, Charles Barkley is Charles Barkley. You know what I mean? Allen Iverson, Steve Nash. One ring really doesn't determine their all-time spot for real.
It's solidified. Like it just puts them in a different air. But at the same time, I see what you say, because it's like AI is AI. No, I get this. Is what I'm saying. AI is AI. If AI has a ring, he's just a little bit higher.
Look at Dirk.
Yeah, but Ev, that's what I was saying. Like it's a combination of your talent, and then the rings just add to the overall talk. Because we have in the NBA, you're all elite players. You're all elite players.
Yeah.
But then now when we're sitting at that table and we're trying to make separation, that's where the rings come into play.
Like
if AI got one, we would be sitting here calling him the greatest of all time because of his impact, what he ended up doing as a shooting guard, and he got a ring.
I don't think so though. No. I don't think so. No,
I'm saying overall, like, just because we love
no,
AI.
I get what you're saying, but I think ring culture matters when you have 3 or more. Like when it comes to like one or two.
Wait. But why did it? But see, that's what I was just saying with the Kobe thing. It never even fucking mattered if you hit 3, because it's about the superstar talent that's hitting that ring number. Think about it. Nobody gives a damn Robert Horry got 7. That's what I mean.
Why it's a combination,
right? But that's what I'm saying is that it ain't even 3, and that's what I'm saying. It's the MJ narrative. It's not even superstars getting 3 chips. It's now you starting to embark, because once you hit 3 and 4, who's the name that immediately comes up no matter what when you one of them stars? Michael Jordan name come up.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's bro. That nigga, he should be the logo, shit, for real.
Yeah, but because can we fault you for setting a tone? Because even in any other sport, nobody.
But the tone is going 6-0. That's the tone.
That's the tone.
But but they're comparing the 6 to him.
Whether it was 5-0, 4-0, the nigga went undefeated in college and in the NBA. Like, the nigga just don't lose when he hit that stage. You don't got to put a number on that. Like, you feel me? So this is what I'm saying. It's like, bro, AI is the best shooting guard of all time, or point guard.
I'm not mad at that.
No. I'm asking shooting guard. Let's say shooting guard, because people put him on the shooting guard.
After D-Wade.
Put him on the PG.
He's
after D-Wade.
I have him before D-Wade personally, but I understand.
If he wins a ring, does that change anything where he goes in that top 4 shooting guard?
It don't, because D-Wade would have still surpassed him by getting to 3 and 4.
And that's what I'm saying. It don't matter. Like, people talk about Steve Nash, all-time PG. If Steve Nash win one more ring, are you moving him anywhere in the PG ranks? I don't think so. Yes. Who are you moving him ahead of?
If Steve gets a ring,
he's already better than, in my opinion, like, he's already. What are you saying?
You about to say something crazy. You about to say something crazy. You about to say something crazy, bro.
Hey, I can hold you.
Because but wait, this is the great conversation, because I think I know where you finna go. And this is a great conversation of saying stats don't equal you're the GOAT. Because if he win a chip, hold on, Smitt, were you about to say if he win a chip, he better than Stockton? He number 1 all time. He the best.
No, I was gonna say, like,
or
he don't. If he win a chip,
Johnson.
If he win a chip, no. I was gonna say, I was more so talking CP3. I think, I think that's the debate. I think that's the debate. Yeah. So, like, I'm saying, I saw Steve Nash because I've been doing my deep digging on him. I was like thinking in my head, I'm like, bro, low key, Steve Nash prime was 06. I was 8 years old. I need to rebook that. I'm seeing 40 and 10 on monsters' heads. Monsters. And I'm just like, this boy looked more skilled to CP3 than me. Yeah. If he win a ring, I guess that solidifies it. But, bro, I think this boy is better than CP3. Like, with or without it. Stockton, I believe.
Defender, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, even when you talk about Stockton, like, the shit I was seeing from him is just like, all right, bro was playing with Karl Malone. Karl Malone top 3 all time, and add-ons. Bro had Amari, very good player, not Karl Malone. And then you have Sean Marion, Jason Richardson. It's a very good team. But when you're facing the Kobe's and the stuff he arguably came up in the golden era. That's the golden era. So it's like, bro, like, I'm not going to fault someone for losing a ring in that thing. The same thing as Charles Barkley. Charles had to see either MJ or Akeem. That's tough.
The tough part about it was, and I think that's why the ring thing matters. Let's say we'll put rings to the side for a quick second, right? The other piece about it is what Ev just said. Stats don't equal accolades.
Facts.
You can be replaced in stats. Somebody, just the same way he passed Kareem eventually, somebody might pass you. So once
Facts.
you become number two, it doesn't
it's not
matter.
might, bro.
What isn't taken away is your all NBA status. What isn't taken away is the MVPs, final MVPs, all defensive teams, defensive player of the year. Like, so where it's bothersome from him is because you're deflecting from the fact that even if you try to make it not about ring culture, your accolades still don't match up to the Kobe's, to the Jordans, and the rest of them. And that's why the rings are even more important. It's like, yeah, if you want to really nerd out and say you don't have a defensive player of the year, you don't have a scoring title, sure, right? If LeBron does have scoring titles, I don't want to take that away. But if you want to nerd out and get there, but the easiest thing to fall to is the rings.
Mm-hmm. Sadly,
if you don't have the accolades, we're not having the same conversation.
Sadly, Now, I was just gonna say, sadly, his career is too well documented for what he's trying to pull, bro.
Honestly. Yeah, and it's that whole, like, it's just funny because it's one of those things where he's trying to save face and kind of deflect away to prop himself up more and more, because I ain't gonna lie, I think Bron's starting to really, as he retires, he started to settle in with the truth of how people that aren't true fans of him hold him.
He's fighting an unbeatable battle.
Like, yeah, because this is the thing. You came in with the thing of being the chosen one. You came in with these claims. You've made these pivotal moves. Like, let's be real, bro. He's made, we all, the Spider-Man, Marvel fans, we've all watched the animated stuff. He created a canon event in the NBA a few times.
Yes, facts, big facts.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, people are holding you to that. And the thing is where you created these moments and events in history for your own self gain, and where, you completed your objective, but then you fall to the same pattern of failure, and then you just destroy and rebuild somewhere else. Everybody sees that, and it just it falls flat. But go ahead. What is it?
Oh, no, well, you know what it is? Because it's like, there's two sets of goats, right? There's those
baby goats.
For me, it's like there's those goats that are either humble or accidentally humble. Like, for example, Tiger was a GOAT in a large aspect. Not only was he so cold at golf, but we knew nothing about him until the cheating scandal. We knew nothing about his life other than his dad being, his coach. Jordan was constantly trying to be humble. Like, nah, man, I can never say that about me because they did it. I just want to play basketball. Don't involve me in no politics, none of that. And if you take that route, even with Steph don't really, like, Steph will say some stuff and it's like, oh yeah, he do be talking on the slide, but he's never been the prominent look at me type of guy unless he's genuinely on the court.
On the other side,
on the other side is the more risky take. If you gonna be braggadocious like a Tom Brady, if you gonna be braggadocious like a LeBron, if you're gonna keep talking about, like, I am him, I'm him Duncan, I'm him and even for the other humble ones, Tim never saying a word almost removes him from the GOAT conversation. You kind of have to sit in the middle and you have to just be noticeable, but don't be over the top, because now with LeBron, if you go that far and you get in this situation, as time has gone on, you start to look at it, that 2020 ring saves you to even be in the conversation with Kobe. That 2020 ring saves you to even be in that conversation, because outside of that ring, your downward spiral has been kind of tough. It has not been, you've been getting, you dig what I'm saying? So as time went along, him even getting the fourth one is what allowed you to be in that type of talk where it removes you from the Jordan talk, because Jordan got 6. And now we're talking, are you better than Kobe? Kobe still got the 5. Kobe still got the accolades. Kobe was more respected. When you shoot a paper ball into the trash can, whose name did you say? You know what it is, right? So in that moment, I think those styles of GOATs is like, now that you put yourself in that scenario where you crowned yourself king, you got the tattoo and you crowned yourself king. When did you feel like you were to go? Whatever Rich Paul asked him on the shop, you crowned yourself king. And then now you're doing stuff like this. So with him having that, it wasn't just about the play anymore. Now you have to incorporate ring culture. Now you have to incorporate what else your impact was on the court, and that's what makes it difficult for someone like him, to me.
And it's something, because I was gonna say this earlier when Smitt was talking. Because Smitt did a beautiful dissertation when he was going through the different GOATs that we consider GOATs. When he was talking about Jordan, when he was talking about Kobe, when he was talking about Steph. This was the point that I was about to make, and you just made it too, Ray. Bron's GOAT status was manufactured differently from everybody else. Because this is the thing, and I'm a butcher how Smitt said it, but this is how Smitt did try to explain it. Jordan, he had to get his ass smacked up, slapped a few times. What did he do? He went and got stronger. He went and got that muscle to work. Kobe, what happened? He shooed Shaq away. He got the glory early, but he said, "No, nigga, you ain't hungry enough. I'm gonna go get it on my own." He failed a couple times and then went and got it. Steph, water in his ankles, knew it was either him or Monte. Then had to take the cheaper deal, had to hustle, get it. That's the difference between all of them and Bron. Bron, he was the one already here. I'm getting it. That was his biggest problem. They all had to fight to be who they are. Even with Jordan being drafted 3rd, he still had to fight to be who he was. Bron, like we said, crowned himself king.
Okay.
Everybody ran with the narrative. Hold on. Everybody ran with the narrative. He could have played in the league since he was a sophomore. That's some shit that gets into your psyche. Where the way everybody call him Drake, like it's an ego thing. Bron has had a place of being the best, the GOAT, the one. So since so early, I have to keep that going. So, like you saying, he has an unbeatable battle. His unbeatable battle is one, Father Time, because longevity. He wants his name to stay in history books, stat wise.
Yeah.
The ego driven thing. He hasn't. You can't beat Jordan, like you said. You lost too many damn times to even have that conversation. So, well, guess what? Hey, man, don't talk about rings because I got the stats. Yeah, and that's the problem. His GOAT status was placed upon him. It wasn't built from the ground up. It was built from a manufactured engine.
Yeah. Okay. So that now you kind of lobby me into a second segue. The villain to LeBron's hero story. Mr. Durant got traded to Houston. Got sent over there. Phoenix is more or less having a fire sale. This was one of the destinations he wanted to go to. As a Spurs fan, I am sad that they were asking just for a little bit too much. They were asking for some pieces that I don't think the Spurs were willing to give up. But
that was, y'all had that in the bag.
Castle.
It was one of those things where I know you got this, give me that, and that's not right. That's not right.
I think they would have been willing to give the number 2 pick, but you weren't going to get Castle. They wanted Castle or Sohan. I would have let Sohan go. That's me. I was cool with letting Sohan go. Take Vassell. Take him.
Take Vassell
Take
too.
Vassell.
Right? Shit, if you want Keldon, fuck.
Take him too, bro. We got enough picks. Us in OKC, like we got enough picks. We can make this back. We gonna get our return on investment. But on the flip side, he went to Houston. Houston got to get rid of their 2 problem children with Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green. And you bring in KD with a team that looked like they were about to take out the Warriors. You got a setup with the Thompson twin over there. You still kept Şengün and Fred Van Fleet turned back into the Toronto Freddie. during this year's playoffs. So if he continues that momentum, y'all scared of Houston? How y'all feel about
it? You good? You want to chop this up?
I'll start it because I love the trade because, man, it's KD. You know what I'm saying? You getting you a man you getting you a 7-footer who gonna give you 50, 40, 90. So that's a win. And then you got
crazy numbers?
You know what I'm saying? And it's where like that's a win for you no matter what. Especially when you're getting rid of Jalen Green, where Jalen Green, you still have it. For me, it's still some questions in the air about him. Like the postseason kind of showed he might be a regular season star. That's it though. Like that's some like he kind of showed me a little bit. It's just, and again, some growing pains. Maybe he still needs some time. It's where Houston is now because they prepared themselves into contention. They don't need that. They need a guy who's going to go and hoop. I just don't know because if you don't win next year and then you don't win the year after, what was the purpose? Because Kevin Durant is 37 years old. And that was my only. I love Katie to death, but that's something we got to think. We have to understand here. Katie 37 right now, and you got him on this young running gun team. This doesn't guarantee you a top 2 seed again, in my opinion. Like that's what it is. That's what I'm kind of lost with is that you didn't just automatically become an overwhelming favorite right now.
Yeah.
So and that's my problem because the longevity with the trade.
Before you go, Smitt, to your point, Ev, I would say what is different about KD being 37 versus Bron or Chris Paul is that jumper is like riding a bike for him, bro. You know, so even if he can't run up and down, he can still go get you a bucket in a way that I don't need to sprint. I don't need to make a move. You can't block it. But I do agree with you. It's like even because I don't want to say that they lucked up into the number 2 spot because they did play very well. It's just you're right. It doesn't guarantee anything. We got to see the chemistry. You with a bunch of young guns. Until now, you got the better end of the deal because you at least got to get rid of Dillon Brooks and Jalen Green.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So even if KD was to expire his contract or just time catches up with him, you got rid of Dillon Brooks and Jalen Green. I don't know what Phoenix is about to do with all them guards. I don't know. Bill is going anywhere. Booker might demand a trade at this point because I'm not trying to play next to it. You know, is Jalen even going to give up the ball respectfully to the clearly better player in Booker? But if you don't see them guaranteed at 2, are they still a top 4 team in the West to you?
I can say that. I can say for sure because one is KD, man. This Kevin Durant. Wait. Yes. I'm gonna go out on my show. I'm gonna keep because I was gonna say no because look at Phoenix. I mean, Kevin Durant was just on Phoenix and they sucked. So, but this is a totally different team, totally different makeup. I'm gonna say they still will be a top 4 team. I just don't see them. I just don't see this making them bona fide championship winning. And that is more of a problem for me because you gave up Jalen Green, who was a young guy. You lost faith in him, it seemed like, compared to because if you don't win with this man, you got a 2-year window.
Yeah.
Is the 2-year window versus how long you would have kept Jalen Green potentially? Where's that trade-off? What was that? So it's just like I don't see you winning a championship immediately, so it makes me question the trade.
Yeah.
Big facts. All right, what about you, Smitt?
I think this clearly indicates to them that they believe the West is open. Like they respect OKC, they respect that they won, but they feel like everyone in the West is wide open. Honestly, me personally, y'all should know after a couple convos we've had, I'm not the biggest KD fan. So in my opinion, I always said whatever team he needed to get traded to, if that team is to get taken serious as a contender, he can't be the first option. Cannot.
I agree with
offensively. That. He cannot. Now you're in Houston, and I think quite clearly, I like to call Amin Thompson because I think he's gonna play the 1 next year, or the 2, whichever one. But I think he's gonna play the 1. I think he's gonna be ball dominant. I like to call him Big Westbrook. 6'6", uber athletic, jumper a little funky, but if it goes in 50% of the time, the whole game opens up for him. So I think that paired with Ime Udoka, you got to take them top 4, 1,000%. But I always thought that Kevin Durant should go to a team where he didn't have to be the one. His 27 did not need to be dependent on in a playoff setting, because we've seen multiple times without Curry, he can't be depended on in a playoff setting. So
I can't even completely. I get what you're saying. That Brooklyn KD told me he could be dependent on. He just needed, just like everybody else, at least one more player to be there. At least one.
Man, yeah, bro.
At least one, bro.
Too small of
'Cause
a stint, man. I'm sorry.
But that's part of it. I know they hang that on his legacy. It's like, my man, they played 13 games together, and we saw what he was doing. In every team, it doesn't matter what era you play in, you need at least somebody else. It's just tough in Phoenix that him and Booker are off, and I don't know what's happening with Bradley. I don't know what's happening with Bradley Beal. So they did have an unfortunate season, but it was one of those. I like the trade. I think
I liked it too. I really liked it.
I think what Parks kept.
Jabari Smith right there, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, you make him into what he's supposed to be. They called him Baby KD coming out of college, man. Now he working with him every day. We saw what happened with Edwards when that happened.
Oh yeah.
He had his best season this year. So I think you look at that. I think you should probably look to get Fred off personally.
Yes,
because I think Reed Shepherd needs burn. I think he needs major burn.
I think that this was the best of his options next to San Antonio. I don't know why
for sure,
because Miami wouldn't have been.
Yeah, Miami. I didn't understand it all.
San Antonio is just a shade too young.
Not well, because I can't say they're not that much younger than Houston, and you're going into San Antonio with a somewhat experienced De'Aaron Fox. You got a unicorn down at the center, which Houston doesn't have. So without the age, you got the length and talent, and then you still would have had Castle. Because everybody that come from UConn coming to the league playing like they 3 years in.
Yeah. So at 37, right? Would you prefer that, or would you trust more a championship point guard for Fred VanVleet and Ime Udoka, who is easily top 3 coach right now in the NBA?
At 37,
knowing
that even if we lose,
I don't even know who's coaching San Antonio this year personally.
Yeah, but even without knowing the coach, you have at least 2 years, and you have a grip of picks. So even if it doesn't work this year, because I don't think, based on what I was seeing, that they had to even trade the number 2 pick.
Yeah,
so
they didn't.
Still had the number 2 pick.
That's my things. Like that's why I'm gonna say I love the trade for Houston, because he's 37. Like that was something like 5 second-round picks. Yeah, that's the going rate for a 37-year-old.
Yeah.
Castle's nice. Castle's nice. He's not going nowhere, man. But I will say this before we go back to another GOAT talk. What this told me, once that deal closed on KD, the ones that were shopping for KD were also trying to shop for Giannis. And the same teams are in that same running for Giannis.
Yeah.
So because OKC might mess around and get Giannis, dog. OKC might mess around and get Giannis,
I mean, after what I saw from Shet, I would, and this is a whole different question for a whole different time, really. But like, at what point do you stop hoarding all these picks and just?
Yeah, they got to do something. I think what's gonna happen is, because OKC is gonna run into a Boston Celtic issue very soon. Yeah. Second apron is not too far along. Second apron is calling.
Hart got 30 mil.
And I think that this is where it happens.
Extendable.
They're gonna trade. They're finally gonna stockpile all those picks with one of those contracts. I honestly think Jalen Williams might be the odd man out. And the reason I say this is because he'll be valuable. He'll be valuable as a player. And then, him needing a bag at the time, and then you got all these draft picks. That's going to get you a superstar.
But honestly, though, you're right. Because we're also agreeing that because Shet should be more expendable at that point. but has not been reaching that level. So we're on the same record as far as that.
Yeah.
Jalen Williams will 1,000% be more expendable than Chet.
Because you got to think, bro. Chet's supposed to be Wemby's
There you
Angel
go.
Reese.
There you, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because
And it hasn't been
Chet
looking
needed
like that.
this ring to even get back in the conversation with Wemby, because that little competition that people were trying to pit them against each other, one showed a clear difference.
And I will say, and I think
Clear difference.
a lot of that is a lot of what have you done for me lately. Like I think that's Chet getting hurt last year. I think is what messed him up in this regard, because him getting hurt allowed also SGA to just go in Superman mode even
Yeah.
harder.
Yeah.
Like I think
Yeah.
that the injury is what messed Chet up, and you now give him some time to get back. I think give him a little reign, but it might be too late because now SGA is in full control. You got to think when they drafted Chet, it was sounding like, oh, this is
He's
going to
the
be
team.
Chet's team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo.
But SGA is now exploded. So now Chet, you can't really trade Chet for super value because, well, what have we seen? You know,
Haven't seen
so
much.
that's the unfortunate
Great
part. That's why I
defensive
say,
player.
Jalen Williams is gonna be the one because he gonna get 50 mil a year or something like that, and then you say, hey, we're gonna give you 6 picks because we can, because we just want a chip.
Yeah.
That's gonna get you your next, and I'll say this: that's not even gonna get you a veteran superstar. That's gonna get you. That's liable to get you Cade Cunningham or something in a few years. If Cade Cunningham get pissed off. If he get pissed off in Detroit, don't rock. And that's the thing you need to be scared of OKC. Is them having the control to go get them a 25-year-old second contract superstar along with SGA. That's gonna
someone who missed all NBA on accident or something like that.
Accidentally getting a Zion or something like that. Like,
exactly.
Getting Zion back in shape, bro. You feel me? You feel me?
Yo,
don't even say nothing like that.
Yo, for real though,
that
that could happen. They're on the fire sale, bro. That could happen.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Yeah, you might accidentally get you a Zion, bro.
Zion right now is only running you like 2 firsts. I ain't gonna lie.
Desmond Bane went for 4.
Yeah, Chet in 2 firsts. Chet in the first maybe.
You didn't. So, all right.
Yeah.
What did Kobe do to get this current slander, man? What? Shout out to Nick Young. Shout out to Swaggy P, bro. Even he tweeted. What did
Bust
Kobe
a lot
do?
of ass, man.
It's been at least, I think we all know this. It's been at least 4 or 5 years, especially since the passing. They've been doing a lot of, yeah, man, you only talk about him like this because he passed away. He wasn't as nice as y'all say he is. Tracy McGrady out of nowhere, out of left field, man. One of the last people I would have expected to say something like that is talking in this regard. What did Kobe do to these people, man?
Man, Kobe was too nice, too dominant on that court, too much of a winner on that court.
Yeah.
And then he didn't have the luxury to be here long enough. That's what he did. And none of it is his fault. None of it is his fault. And you know, the thing is that like a T-Mac and all these people talking. One, they talking because, like we said, Kobe's no longer here, and it's now is with him no longer being here. He can't defend himself. No one's here outright able to defend Kobe Bryant, and no one's here able to defend Kobe Bryant with credence, at least no one wants to take that stepping stone, at least in the NBA from what we've seen, because everybody is now shitting on Kobe. Like
one person I know, he's my GOAT, but one person I know that will say something if it gets too outrageous is Paul. Paul will say something.
All right,
Paul
shout out to Paul.
Say something.
Because like it's a whole bunch of people coming out like now, like that stuff. It's just kind of to me it's disrespectful, because it's like, we know you wouldn't have said this in any of the last before 5 years ago. You would have never said this. And you wouldn't even said this in the 2 years. And that's another thing too. Like, if you felt like this, why didn't you say it as soon as he passed? Like, it's a lot of like, and the reason I think different sometimes, it's a lot of energy checking with certain things.
Yeah.
Because if that means if you're saying this now, did you always feel this way? And then 2, if you're saying it now you feel like, oh, he's now passed long enough for me to say it.
That's Kobe's fault.
Like, like it's now like the end, like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, so when were you ever gonna say this if he didn't pass? When was it ever gonna enter the atmosphere?
And you know what? I think the other part of it too, like T Mac has always had some interesting takes, right? So I can't say this is off tilt for him specifically. Someone like a Dwayne Wade is throwing me off because you were just in that Olympic documentary hyping him up. You are on record saying you called somebody to beat him because you were tired of him winning. So to turn around and try to diminish it is like, bro, that's kind of crazy. Because I don't even know. I don't know if it's one of those things where similar to Braun Wade Mac is like, is it because you realize your legacy itself will never surpass his? Because even without him passing away, we knew the impact that Kobe had just off the court. He was one of the most beloved players ever to walk. So I only during that time frame, the only person I would say that had a bigger impact than him culturally was Iverson. And Kobe just happened to win to outshine what Iverson's cultural impact was. So then now fast forward into the 2010s, you have the Steph impact, right? So once you're starting to see that timeline go along, it's like, hey, T Mac, you're able to say these type of things now because you want to do a revisionist history. We didn't forget you were getting eliminated with Yao Ming in the first round by Utah. We didn't forget that.
Great for
We
Austin.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't forget that you were injured. Yes. Kobe played through some injuries. Kobe won with some injuries. Hell, the person that you can't even you can argue whether T Mac is better than Iverson or not. I've seen Iverson play through a cracked tailbone and still go out here and do his
Which is
dirt.
insane.
Couldn't even shoot a free throw, bro. Man was talking about he can't even
Yeah.
sit down appropriately. Like, so it's certain pieces of it. Like, why go back and say that when, to Ev's point, you were right there. He was
Bro.
right there. Now, to the other piece too, really quick. I understand what you're saying with Paul Pierce. There is somebody that could come out and defend him, and I don't think he'd have a problem, but he was never a media person. If Jordan spoke on Kobe, all of this is dead.
Yeah.
This
He
whole
won't. He
talk,
wouldn't.
Yeah.
but he's
wouldn't.
the right person to have that. If just in general, if he was to finally speak and say, "Hey, this is what it's looking like for me," because he always focuses so much on those that came before him, he never really speaks on those that came after.
Yeah.
But if he just told the truth, I think this a lot of these narratives, even within this conversation of
Yeah.
this pod, a lot of the narratives we were even discussing are washed as soon as Jordan talks about somebody. And I think he would be the one to tell the truth about Kobe's legacy.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, right? I'm gonna say what Ev said because Ev said it wasn't his fault. I think personally, kind of is his fault
Talk
because
to him.
MJ was one of the first. Not MJ. Kobe was one of the. To me, Kobe's the only person all time who's got the closest to MJ, but didn't have the MJ attitude. You know what I mean? So he basically MJ. It was just stories about him saying "fuck you" to a lot of people. It was about him saying, "Oh, Akeem at the All Star game. Oh, Akeem, I haven't dunked on you yet. All right, watch in 6 months. I'm gonna dunk on you." He does it. You know what I mean? Kobe. When you hear about everyone talking about him, it's the people who got the most respect from him publicly. Kobe said multiple times during that 06, 08 era that he used to see the newspaper and it used to say, "Is D Wade the best shooting guard in the league?" He used to read it before games. Sometimes Phil Jackson would put it on him before games because they knew, one, it was kind of that close at the time, and two, it would really get under his skin. Kobe turned into such a great storyteller after his career. He talks about stuff like that. He
Mm-hmm.
talks about how him and how T Mac was the only person he worked out with ever in the
Mhm.
summer. Ever. He goes on to say how he had the same skill set, but he didn't put the other part on it. He didn't talk about how you need the dog to match the skill set. That's how you end up with 5. That's how you end up with 0.
Yep.
That's how you end up with, if I'm in this scenario 30 years after, I would have won X, Y, and Z. There's no what ifs. There's no what ifs. Like, I hate the hypothetical game because it's like, bro, this guy did it. This guy did it, and he put him in, albeit it was real sinister, but he put himself in the worst position possible. Some of those rosters from 05 to 07, you can't really say the names on those Lakers rosters. And he ate it, came back, and beat arguably the first super team of all time.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to look at it. It is his fault. He gave too much respect to these guys, and it just makes me sick because he was not like this while he was playing, but he was really starting to open up, and people saw the vulnerability and waited for him to pass, waited for it to sit on people, and you could see it coming here and there. Started with fucking first take first. Started with them putting small shit in the air, and then shit eventually started sticking. Now you have T-Mac coming out of nowhere talking about, oh, if I was on the Lakers team, I would have maybe got a couple. Like, bro, where does that even come from?
Now, hey, see, hold on. Now you see how I was saying when we were talking about ring coaches, and I said that's an MJ narrative that started.
Yeah.
Now, all this that's going on, this is a Bron narrative. That's my hot take with it. It's all of this is now, and that's why I actually like you saying it's his fault. Because I would say him passing is leading to the allowance of this. And that's just where with his passing now, it's Kobe's gone. We'll not talk about him. It's now LeBron is still here versus that ghost Michael Jordan that everybody chasing.
Exactly.
And so now you guess what? With Kobe not here, you got everybody who felt that they were in his range. Oh, well, I could have did it. Tracy McGrady. No, you couldn't. You the same man. This also shows niggas' egos and selfishness. You the same man who left Toronto because I felt like I didn't get enough recognition.
Thank you.
I feel like I didn't get enough recognition.
And that was
you playing with your cousin.
Fucking cousin.
Who arguably should have went down. Vince should have went down similar to the Kobe conversation because of how skilled and a freak he was. A freak. Yeah. Mac, you not better than your cousin. And because you're not better than your cousin, you left. On the quiet, because to your point, Ev, I almost agreed with you until I thought of T-Mac specifically. He was bouncing from team to team before Bron. You couldn't do it in Orlando, so you ran to go play in Houston. You tried to go hop with Yao Ming. They gave away Steve Francis for you. You were ring hopping too. Dwayne Wade. You were ring chasing too. You had your one, which is even more crazy. You already had your one. So go follow that.
The fact he ended his career on LeBron's coattail is the craziest shit ever, in my opinion.
You dig what I'm saying? So it's like I'm looking at that in the aspect.
Hold on, whoa! I can't let y'all do that on D-Wade. Whoa.
Nah. Let's really talk. Let's keep it clean.
Let's keep it clean. Let's keep it clean. But let's not say he was ring chasing. He wasn't ring. He only left.
There's
Miami.
No reason
why. So hold on. Whoa. Tell me. When did the ring chase start? When did the ring chase start? He was ring chasing.
When he went to Chicago the first time. When he went to Rondo and Jimmy Butler.
But guess what? He went to. Why did he go to Chicago? He's been on record saying why he went to Chicago.
win a ring, and he's from Chicago. I know that.
Them niggas. Miami didn't pay him.
Okay. All right.
He did say that.
That's why he left. He left because Miami didn't pay him. So now, where's the ring chase at? Where's the ring chase?
What are we?
But mind you, he didn't give. He wanted his payday, but he was also towards washed era at the same time. Yeah. So why does he end up on Cleveland? Because he was he was on his last legs. He was.
Oh, quiet. No.
So that is you can say that's a coach. That's his brother. That's his man's trying to ring chase. But then guess what? We saw that didn't work. And where did he go? He got sent right back to Miami. So where is the ring chase?
Well, no, because I would say it's the ring chase in the same manner that T-Mac was ring chasing. Because how did you end up on San Antonio? Why did you go to San Antonio, T-Mac? Why were you there? Yeah. A lot of people forgot that
No, I remember
finals they
that one. I
lost to
remember that one.
Miami.
Yeah, I remember that one.
T-Mac
He
was
was
on
there.
that team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
bro.
He
Yeah,
was he was looking for the guaranteed. We didn't
Yeah.
forget. You know what I'm saying? So
Why
it's
I'm
like,
saying why certain jerseys should not be on certain people? Why is
No,
the
certain jerseys shouldn't, because D Wade
why
should have
is
never
D
been in the
Wade in
Cleveland
Cleveland?
jersey. D Rose shouldn't have been in the Cleveland jersey.
Like
All
why?
that was nasty. That
Why
whole era
was
was
yeah,
that?
nasty. But continue.
yeah, man.
I can't let y'all say my dog was ring chasing when
Yeah,
I
he
feel
was
you.
but
I
yeah,
washed
feel
when
you.
it happened.
I feel,
yeah.
but he okay. Is it ring chasing when you are admitting that you called somebody to stop the person you're talking about now?
No,
Or are you just a supreme hater? Like you,
I ain't
like,
gonna lie. That's a supreme hate. That was a supreme hate. Now, when you think about that big three form, that was a supreme hate. That was a supreme hate.
because
Because I'm gonna be real. D Wade was still mad that Kobe hit that motherfucking game winning shot on ESPN Wednesday from the top of the key. He was still upset about that. That's why.
Mm.
I wish people would discuss that, because even with T Mac, is like he was a monster
A lot of these niggas was
offensively.
haters on Kobe, man. We gotta be
Yeah,
honest. A lot of these dudes were haters because Kobe was kicking they ass.
bro, and it's like y'all don't even have the defensive talent to speak as if you were in the same era, or same air as Kobe. Uh, all right. So I got the last question. Hold on, quick second. Yeah, man. Y'all let Kobe rest in peace, and y'all respect his greatness the way that y'all supposed to. So we gonna
Absolutely.
wrap this. Yeah, we gonna wrap this particular one off up with, give me your top 3 basketball haters, like former players that just turned into, I don't even know what to call it. Like
Uh
hate might just be doing it. The player haters club, right? From Chappelle's show, the skit.
yeah.
Give me your player hater club squad. And they have to be former players.
Former players. All right. One, I'm gonna be real. Shaq. Shaq. I'll be real. Like I love Shaq and Shaq he funny, but bro, Shaq is one of the most egregious haters like today. Like, we love inside the NBA, but he just be up there hating. Like I think we said this on the pod before. Like Shaqton, he's the only one who cares about Shaqton at this point. Like it's not all that. Like, so that's one. I'm
Shaq
gonna
has
go with that.
diminished 2 careers, bro.
Yeah.
Shaq diminished JaVale McGee all the way out. Like we act like JaVale McGee isn't a multiple time champion.
Yeah, bro.
I would almost argue Shaq's hate on Dwight Howard stopped him from being in the top 75.
And you see, and something about that, bro, that's so crazy because like Dwight actually like looked up to Dog the entire career, his entire career and everything. And then like now with Dwight retiring, finally getting it over with, Shaq gonna say, "Oh, I always loved you. I always loved you. I want to induct you in the Hall of Fame. Like I always appreciated you. I was just trying to
Right.
push you. No, you were a hater."
Yeah, like let's not act like they didn't just have a back and forth on Twitter until they finally pieced it up.
And
That was
Dwight said,
rad.
"Let's put the gloves on." Like Dwight said, we
Yeah.
could box.
Bad back Dwight. Pause.
Yeah, bro. So that's one. So yeah, that's one. Who you got? Which one you
Okay.
got?
Kendrick Perkins.
Mm,
Kendrick Perkins has
mm,
continued his media career by consistently taking shots at KD and trying to hype himself into this position of a centerpiece on OKC, mainly because of the fact I think he also hates that he was never anywhere relevant when we talk about that Celtics winning team of the 2000s.
yes.
You're not even in it. You're not in the top 4 because we're always going to mention Rondo before you as well. Like I, it honestly, this is jokes. I could be reaching here. I care about Big Baby Davis more because he got caught up in that fraud scheme more than
Oh,
I care about
oh,
Kendrick Perkins being there, bro. Like, yeah, man. Kendrick Perkins, Ke- he
uh,
has this weird comfortability to talk about people with such a minimal skill set. A minimal skill set. We watched you airball layups close to the rim. We watched Blake Griffin have his way with you numerous
yeah,
times. So when you come out here and you start talking about people, it's like Kendrick, I hate that you're from Texas. I do.
absolutely,
I hate that you're from Texas, bro.
absolutely.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
let me see who my next one. My worst player hater. I ain't gonna lie. I like him as a player hater. I like it with his foot on this specific team neck. So I'm gonna have to do it. Vernon Maxwell, man.
Ooh.
Always on Utah
Okay.
neck. Like, and because it's a player hater because he legit despises them, Utah. So I love that. Like
Yeah.
for years, he just never lets up and he just stay on their neck. And again, I know we talking about haters. You know, most times you don't enjoy haters, but like I'm with that. You know what I'm saying? And then he
Yeah.
played against them Karl Malone Utah Jazzes and fuck Karl Malone.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
Vernon's a funny hater because he even tells his stories like in the midst of his hate, he tells the truth. It's like, yeah, Akeem slapped the shit out of me, though.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He gonna be keeping it a buck about whatever he's saying. So yeah, I love
Okay.
Footy BR.
I got Kareem. Kareem Kareem is a hater, bro. Kareem especially, all right. Think about even the way that they portrayed him. I don't know if you watched what was it? What was the show that they just did on HBO about the Showtime Lakers?
When it's time?
Um Winning Time. Okay. They talk about how accurate that was, where Kareem didn't like nobody. And it could be because of his due diligence to his religion, but he didn't care nothing about no Magic. Kareem didn't care nothing about none of these new players going forward, all the way up to you see him clearly hating the fact that they were talking about Jordan more than him. Then when
Yeah.
LeBron finally passed him, you saw how salty that man looked to even acknowledge that point record, because now that LeBron has passed him in the points, it's almost as
Oh
if
yeah.
his cement foundation was you still one of the greatest. You can still
Yeah.
argue Kareem might be in the best player of all time. He can still be in that talk, but Kareem a top tier hater, bro. Kareem's a top tier hater, man.
Yeah, bro. It's
Oh
it's
God, bro.
nasty, bro. Damn it. I had my third one. I just lost it. Oh, damn it. Because it was gonna be a funny one too. Who was I thinking of? Damn it, I just lost it. Uh, Oh, I just lost it. I'm so mad at myself because I just had it the
Okay.
whole time. And as soon as I
Okay.
laughed at you, I blanked.
I might be taking yours
Okay.
because in recent news, Rashad McCants.
Oh,
Rashad
fuck. I wasn't even worried about him, but that's it.
Rashad
Yes.
Rashad
Oh,
McCants.
I remember now, but no, go ahead because I got mine now.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I know.
Okay. Because the things that stick out to me about Rashad, trying to sell that Greg Popovich wasn't a great coach.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, bro.
The recent hate on the Carolina Tar Heels, making it seem like they went out of their way to like never would I
Bro.
would have thought Raymond Felton would be entertaining me with a beef on like come see these hands type situation.
Yeah.
Rashad McCants, you tell him you I is it hate or is it ego? It could be both, but
It is
in
both.
his mind, nobody is better than him outside of
It's
Kobe and
both.
Jordan.
It's both. And the thing is that it's because, and it's one of those things too where he has his sudden moments where he'll be like super transparent. It's ego because he know he screwed up. Because
Yeah.
people don't realize he was like the second Kardashian guy. People don't realize this, and people do not remember this. He was after Reggie, if I'm not mistaken.
Not the second
He
Kardashian,
was the
bro.
second Kardashian guy, and mind you, that's after him winning the chip, winning the title in college and everything. And he even says it like, bro, it kind of went to my head because it was early and I was still a rookie in my second year, and I didn't make it yet to be able to do it, to do all those things and indulge in all them things. So I think that's a part of it. And because coming with that flair from winning the chip, he got that thing like, yeah, like, because he always talks about the story about how he got screwed over in college, how he was like, I was
Yeah.
averaging 25 and then they benched me, and that's what made him fall in the draft and everything. It's a lot of jadedness. We used the word jaded a few episodes ago. It's some jadedness of he feels jaded that he got done wrong when he doesn't realize his attitude is a part of why certain things
Huge
were done.
part, bro.
Like
Huge part.
likability. You have to be likable, in certain things.
Cause what was that dude comment he made recently where even Boogie was like, Shut the fuck up. When he was talking about how much he would average if he had more minutes, he said something like 29.
Yeah, because of the fact he averaged, what was it? He averaged 15 a game. He averaged 15 a game. And he played like a certain amount of minutes. And he said if he played X amount of minutes, he'd be an average 28 or 30 or something. And Boogie like, but you never averaged. Like,
Ever.
yeah, bro. It's
Ever. Because the only reason I have him third, possibly, because he could potentially beat out Kendrick Perkins here, is because McCants is on a show where you keep getting checked by Gil. You keep getting checked by Gil and
yeah.
Kenyon and them, and it's like because Brandon Jennings is an honorable mention for me, but the fact that Kenyon and Gil were so successful, you feel me? Brandon Jennings is an honorable mention for me, bro.
I understand it.
Yeah. So okay, so who's your third? You say you just got it back.
So yeah, I got it now, and I have to go back into the history books. Scottie fucking Pippen.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's why that's why I got so mad when I was like, it was on my tip, like, because it was him. I'm like, it was somebody I know that's so easy. It's Scottie, bro. Like, it's because he has the same, honestly, he got the same issue as Rashad. It's ego and hurt. He got ego of because nigga, we went to the conference finals without your ass, and I was the guy. We lost, but I took us here. And because my contract was so shitty, because I had to take care of 12 family members. It's he got this woes, man. It's like he like shitting on Michael Jordan ever since with the Last Dance, and then getting your chick took by Scotty's in a hateful life right now,
man, bro. Because let's not forget how many times has he gone back and forth between Jordan's the greatest, LeBron's the greatest, Jordan's the greatest, just consistently keeping his. He wrote a book after the Last Dance because he was so he had it in his chest.
Yeah, bro.
Man, they did me wrong in the last. Like you were there,
and then he came with the thing. He came out about Phil Jackson. Remember when he did the book? He was saying like Phil Jackson was racist towards him, like at the time, and everybody around was like, "What?" Like, it's so I would say Scottie is a bigger hater because as Scottie has gotten older, he's turned into that old boomer. He's turned into the old NBA boomer. And then as he's turned into that old boomer, life has had its way with him because you were one of those guys, but you weren't the guy. Hey, real hoopers know you do deserve a lot more credit. And you do deserve to be looked at a different way than you are looked at because Scottie one of those. You know what I'm saying? Scottie's one of the greatest two-way players ever. So you deserve to be looked at that way. But yeah, that's my biggest hater. That's one of my biggest haters, man. He especially now in his 50s, like in his late 40s and 50s, he just turned to hate all the way up. And like it's bad. It's bad.
Because what's worse with Scottie is you tried to prove that you could do it without Jordan, and it didn't work for you either when you went to Houston, and it didn't pan out the way that it was supposed to. And now his media presence, because even like unfortunately, Scottie, you are not an aesthetically appealing dude.
I knew you was gonna say that. I knew you was gonna say that, man.
Because because even think about all the times where they did have him on the show, right? And he looks awkward. You look like you're going through a crisis, and I do understand, especially with losing your lady the way that you did, and just like, man, because I hate it for Junior. Remember when I made that comment? I said, hey, he has one of the tallest mountains to climb because everybody knows about Mom Dukes, bro. So I'm not mad at that, bro. Yeah, Scotty's a good pick. Scotty's a good pick. That's a nasty six.
Yeah, bro. He was nasty.
That's a nasty six, man.
Do better, Scottie.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man. We gonna wrap this one up. That was the playoffs. Shout out to the Thunder. Thunder did their job. Shout out to SGA for being the Finals MVP. Rest up, Halliburton.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You have came through for another episode of the Keep It Clean One-Off Sports Series. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all time. Like, comment, and subscribe. We're on YouTube. We are gonna start focusing more on dropping some of these one-offs more so on YouTube. So hopefully y'all can get the visuals and see more of us, and then give us some feedback on what it is that we're missing. But appreciate y'all's time, and y'all stay safe out there.
Have a good one. Appreciate y'all.